Hey guys, it's MugenLord here, and I'm here with a follow-up video regarding the Helena Taylor and Bayonetta 3 boycott, because there's been some updates and some news that I think we should definitely look into. So before we dive into the video, make sure you hit that subscribe button because it helps me out on the channel, and also hit that bell to be notified for more gaming news in the near future. So we're going to dive right into it. So for those of you guys who don't know what's been going on, you can check out my previous video, but I'll summarize it here. The voice actress, the original voice actress, had essentially went on to Twitter and said that the reason why she wasn't cast as the role as or reapprised her role as Bayonetta was for the simple fact is that Platinum Games tried to pay her a flat rate of $4,000 for the entire game. So she turned it down, and she was asking fans to boycott the game. And they end up replacing her with a more highly prolific voice actress named Jennifer Hale, and that caused another uproar in the situation. So with this follow-up video, we're going to talk about the update, because now we have some sources that's pretty much calling Helena Taylor out, or it's conflicting with what she's been saying. And I've always been saying this before: don't jump the gun when it comes to situations like this. I know it's a very sensitive topic, and when you see a victim that's on the internet and the social media, you always want to take people's word for face value. But as I said before, social media, you have to be careful with the internet. You can't just take somebody's word for what it is. You always need to ask questions, which I highly encourage you guys to ask questions, and also use critical thinking skills. Always think about what's being shown to you or what you've been hearing, and you analyze it before you make a decision. You don't ever want to just jump the gun without getting all the information. So what update am I talking about here? What conflicting news are we getting here? Well, it seems as though that Bloomberg, which is supposed to be or arguably a highly reputable news website, where they had actually did some investigation and pulled some sources and actually talked to some of the people who worked at Platinum Games, who was around the whole time of this, I should say, this contract or this negotiation was going with Helena Taylor and Platinum Games. And Bloomberg also said that they actually seen the contract or seen somewhat of the deal that was had. They saw documentations, and then VGC said they can collaborate with Bloomberg with the details and what they have seen when it came to the documentations of the agreement when it comes to paying Helena Taylor, and it seems as though it's conflicting with what she's been saying. So the question is she's a liar? So we're going to dive right into the details. Now, if you go over the digital trends, which I'll probably post here in the description below, so you can go read it for yourself, but it was saying that in the article that Platinum Games actually offered her between $3,000 to $4,000 per recording session to work on Bayonetta 3, opposed of what Helena Taylor was telling us, which was just a flat fee of $4,000 to reprise her role. So according to what they've been saying from Bloomberg said that she was going to reprise her role to get paid between $3,000 to $4,000 per session. And they said at least she was going to do 5 studio sessions. So they were saying that she was going to make anywhere at least $15,000 total, more than what she's been telling everybody else over on Twitter, which also that video got millions of views and everything like that. So this is where the conflict comes in. This is why Platinum Games had pretty much turned her down or didn't hire her. Well, it appears that Helena Taylor didn't like the deal of getting paid $3,000 to $4,000 per 5 session, and instead she pretty much made a counter negotiation. She asked Platinum Games that she wants a 6-figure payment as well as residuals for Bayonetta 3. And I'm going to say this again. She asked for 6 figures and residuals to voice Bayonetta 3 for those 5 studio sessions. So, of course, if you're Platinum Games, they pretty much essentially denied her her offer. They turned her down. Now, since they turned her down, they already start setting their sights on another voice actress to replace her. But here's the catch. They didn't fully just say, hey, we don't want you and everything. They still, I guess you would say, respect the fact is that, hey, she's been the original voice actress. We still want her to be part of the game. So what they did was they gave her another offer. They gave her a cameo offer. So Bloomsburg, talking with Platinum Games and the people from the inside, had reportedly offered Taylor a cameo afterwards. So the cameo was supposed to be a one session deal of $4,000. So could this be the $4,000 that she's talking about? The flat rate that she's talking about of $4,000. They didn't want to hire her as Bayonetta after she made that, counter renegotiation for 6 figures and residuals. So instead they said, look, we want to give you a cameo for one session for $4,000. So she was going to get paid $4,000 to do one session. Now, when it comes to her union that she's in, actually the union, if you go to their website and check out the details of how the unions work, it looks like they was paying her above and beyond the minimum of what was required for actors and actresses to get paid, because it's normally supposed to be $900 per 4 hours. They was going to give her $4,000 just for one session. So they went above and beyond and paid her more than what she was actually supposed to get, only for the one session. And this is if the reports from Bloomberg is correct, which is now showing more and more that it appears to be, because other sources and other people are coming in collaborating that same story as well. But as I said before, we're going to have to wait and see. This is just the second piece to the puzzle. Now we still also have to wait for the truth. Now, another thing that we found out was that what's Nintendo role in this as well. Nintendo relies on unionized voice actors. They don't go after non-union. So the only thing that we have gotten from Helena Taylor after this news has pretty much broken, she said it was an absolute lie. She says that Platinum Games is trying to save face. And then she replied saying that I would like to put this whole bloody franchise behind me, quite frankly, get on with my life in theater, says Taylor. So that's pretty much the gist of what we have so far when it comes to this. Now, I want to ask you guys, what do you think about this? Is because now we got another source coming in to pretty much counter what Helena Taylor is saying. So, as I said before, we have to wait. You never jump the gun. We have to wait for more details and information come out. And that's why I'm glad myself that I didn't just jump on her side. I never do that. I always say wait for the facts, wait for the information. Now, I know there's some people that can pretty much pick this article apart, and we're going to go through that as well. I know some people can say, well, how do we know that these sources are telling the truth? How do we know that? That's just their word. And I also want to say too that Helena Taylor telling everybody that the flat rate was $4,000 is just her word too. So this can also be considered a he say, she say situation. So we can't just take either side, but now we starting to have a bigger picture and a frame, of how the situation is for you to actually sit back, use your critical thinking to figure out who's telling the truth in the matter, in the situation. Now, I know some people saying, well, why didn't Hideki Kamiya just come out and say anything? You got to understand, corporations and on that end is also under an NDA. They're not allowed to say certain things about the entire situation, and they can't just break NDA. And if they are going to voice their opinion, they have to speak with lawyers. They got to go through all these legal channels in order to speak their opinions about certain things. Now, I know some people are saying, well, if they were just honest about the situation instead of saying, there were some conflicting circumstances that didn't allow them to hire her, then this wouldn't have happened and stuff like that. You got to understand, that's corporation talk. When it comes to corporation talk, it's still an NDA. They can't just come out and just say, hey, she came out with this outrageous price and then we turned her down. You're not allowed to say that. There's a non-disclosure agreement. So they just said, corporate talk, and they left it at that. Now, the question is, at this point, we would have to wait and see, are we going to get a full response from Helena Taylor herself, because it appears that she just called them a liar, and now she's saying that she just want this thing behind her and she just want to move on with her life. And I find that kind of odd, is for the simple fact is she was the one that poked the bear. She was the one that made a whole video that went viral and got millions of views. Now there's a counter argument to her video and her stance, and now she wants to put this whole thing behind her and just walk away from this whole entire situation, which really doesn't sit well on me, and that really says a lot about her and her point, because at this point the burden of proof is on her. She already broke NDA. At this point, I think she should start showing receipts in the whole matter of the situation. She already broke NDA, so what's stopping her right now for coming out bringing receipts to counteract what these sources are saying, rather than saying, oh, they're lying, they just trying to save face and just leave me alone, you know? So you really have to think about this entire situation and how everything is just wrapped up into this whole confusing mess leading up to the launch of Bayonetta. Now, there's also people in the comment sections that also says that, you know, that she deserves more for Bayonetta. This is a high profile game, you know? And the thing is that's so crazy about it is the offer that she made for 6 figures, if this happens to be true, if that's what the sources are saying, that's what went down. I gotta say this. When it comes to voice actors aren't Hollywood celebrities. They aren't. And I really do believe that voice actors should get paid more. But 6 figures? And she also made a video or an interview talking about how long it took for her to record the previous 2 Bayonetta titles. I
recorded for 4 days.
Oh wow! You did was that Bayonetta 1 and 2? Or
half a day each, so four 4-hour sessions it took me.
Oh wow! I didn't think. I swear Bayonetta talked more than that.
Yeah, no, I'm very quick, and so's Chris Zimmerman Salter. It was literally do 3 lines of each line, and that's it. It's very quick.
So if it can take 5 sessions, 6 figures for 5 sessions, and she's only in there for, I guess you would say, 20 hours. So 20 hours for 6 figures. That's a lot for a voice actor, if that happens to be the case. If she wanted to make that deal, that's a lot. And you also got to think about her portfolio as a voice actress as well. If you look at her portfolio, she haven't been voice acting in video games for about 8 years now. I think the last thing she did was Bayonetta 2, I think. But the last thing she recorded was back in 2014. That was the last time she recorded. So a lot of people would say, and I've been talking and debating with people are saying that why would she lie about this? Why would she want to ruin her career? And the question is, what career? What career does she has? She pretty much only is recognized for Bayonetta and only done most of her work with Bayonetta. And then she haven't voice acted in a long time for the past 8 years. So I always tell these people, when it comes to situations like this, when people always throw in, why would somebody do that, do something like that? That's something serious. Why would somebody just ruin everything about their life and their career or whatever to make such an allegation like that on a lie? Amber Heard, come on. And you have to understand, we're human beings. Us human beings, we are flawed. And we will do anything. If we believe we can truly get away with something, we will risk it all. We do stupid things at times. So I like to destroy that narrative and stop thinking that people won't go through lengths to shift the narrative or to push a certain agenda. We have to stop doing that. We have to stop and look at us as human beings and say that, yo, we fuck up, we make mistakes, or yo, sometimes we can be damn well mischievous at times, and you have to look at it from that standpoint, you know? And this situation kind of also reminds me of what I've been through when dealing with voice actors, if you guys don't know. And I just want to tell a little story before I wrap this up. So this is real funny because this whole situation of how, negotiations with voice actors go sometimes can just be so bizarre, or sometimes it can just be just stressful. Because if you guys don't know, I'm also a 3D hentai artist. I create a lot of 3D hentai content, and I have a lot of fans and everything. And I got into doing fully voiced content when it comes to my work. A lot of my content actually have voicing in it with voice actors and actresses that I hire to do a job. So I know how it is. I know how rough it is, because I've been at this for 6 years, and I've been hiring a lot of voice actors, and it's been to the point where a lot of voice actors have consistently been coming to me because I paid them what they're worth. They have their own rates. I seen the quality of work. I see their portfolio. I say, you know what? Yeah. And most of the time, I don't even negotiate to bring down their prices. Most of the time, I always pay them what they ask for by the rates that they have, because I feel as though that their work is worth that price and they're valued at their price. That's why they constantly continue to come to me every time, because they know they're going to get that payment. And also, I even give them bonuses, especially like when the work is like fantastic. I'm like, oh God, no, I have to give them a tip, give them a bonus and everything. The whole Helena Taylor situation reminds me of the situation where I got into it with this one voice actress within the adult community, or the 3D hentai community, where, I worked with her for about 3 years, I would say. And she does phenomenal work. I mean, phenomenal work. Now, I normally know her rates. So we always been on the up and up about that, and I never had to negotiate anything. I pay it. So it's this one project that I did, and the project was only 24 or maybe 28 minutes long. A 3D hentai project. It was like 20 or 28. I think it's about 28 minutes long. And I came to her and asked her would she like to do this role. So she obliged to it. So I didn't ask for her rates or anything, because I always work with her and I already know what her rates were at the time. This is about a year and a half ago or so. So I was like, okay, this is the script, and I already calculated in my head that this project for remind you, this is for 24 to 28 minutes. $400. She was going to get $400 for voicing only 24 to 28 minutes. $400. I already calculated how much this was going to cost me. So she accepted it. And I'll take some blame. And the reason why I said I take some blame, I should have looked and see if anything was going on with her, to see if anything changed as far as her rates. But like I said, we were actually like cordial. Like we always talk. We talk every once in a while and stuff like that. So we had a good rapport. So I just assumed that everything was on the up and up. So she does the record. She looks at the script and everything, and then she comes back and she tells me that it was going to be $1,200. I'm like, $1,200? Whoa, wait a minute. That's expensive. I already did all the math in my head, and I was saying to myself, that can't be $1,200. What is going on here? So she told me, oh yeah, she changed her rates and this, that, and the third. I'm like, where's your rate sheet? Because I don't see it anywhere on your profile or anything, so I can see these new changes in the rates and stuff like that. So when I said that's kind of expensive, I said, you know what? Never mind. I'll just look for somebody else. That's when she felt insulted. She called me an asshole. She called me a dickhead. She called me all kinds of nasty names, because I turned her down to go look for another voice actress who would do the role for the price that I was looking for, which is $400 for only 28 minutes. So she got mad, she got upset, and she said I was being disrespectful for saying that it was too expensive. And she said, I'm worth that price and stuff. I said, I understand, but $1,200 is not in my budget, because I still have to hire 2 other actors. I have to hire another female actor, and then I have to hire a male actor. And $1,200 right there, like you just destroyed my budget right there. She didn't say anything for a while. Then something told me to go on her Twitter page. I go on her Twitter page, and I realized on her Twitter page, she also has an OnlyFans as well. Her past couple of tweets essentially saying on her Twitter to her followers that she just got kicked out of her apartment. She needs some rent or security or something like that in order for her to get this other apartment that she found and everything. And she's been struggling to pay her car note and all this other type of stuff like that. She wasn't and plus at the time she was also asking people who would like to hire her for some voice work. So I guess she didn't get any voice work for a while. So when I finally came into the picture,
you're a victim.
She's seen it as an opportunity to try to get a security deposit or to pay her note. So she charged me $1,200. That's what she tried to do. She tried to take advantage of the situation and take advantage of me. And that really hurt me because I thought that we were cool and we've been working for almost 3 years together and everything. And she tried to pull that stunt on me, and that really bothered me. And then she called me an asshole because I said that was too expensive and I'll look somewhere else and find somebody else. So then she finally came back and she apologized, and then she took the $400 instead because she realized that, hey, there's no other means at this point. I need the money or whatever like that. But that really upset me. That really bothered me. And I never hired her ever since that. I never hired her for any other project ever since then. You got one time to do that to me. And so when I look at the Helena Taylor and Platinum Game situation, to where she's been doing consistent work with them with the Bayonetta, and then they gave her an even higher offer than what most games, especially for Nintendo, has offered for voice acting, and then she turns around and then says, hey, I don't want that. Instead, you're going to give me 6 figures and residuals or whatever. That was like, whoa, what the hell is going on? And then when they didn't want to hire her and they got somebody to replace her, then she threw a temper tantrum, as I would say. That's what it seemed like to me, that she got upset about it. And then she want everybody else to take them down because she didn't get her way. And I think that's wrong because that affected everybody else. That affected people that developed the game. They also affect, like I said, Jennifer Hale, the new replacement for that. And I think that isn't right. So yeah, that pretty much wraps it up. I definitely want to hear your thoughts. Who do you think is telling the truth, Helena Taylor, or do you think the sources from Bloomberg that's surrounding Platinum Games and the offer that they actually have given to her that she turned down? Do you think that's the truth or not? So I think this would be interesting to talk about in the comment sections below. So definitely give me your thoughts on this. And I also want to apologize for people, for my viewers who come to the channel for RPGs and fighting games. I thought this was I think it was a serious discussion that we need to talk about because this impacts the industry as a whole, and this is also a real talk that I always want to stress to you guys when it comes to social media and just taking sides and only getting one side of the information and then blindly going, in this outrage type of mob off of a story that you only got one part of, so definitely let me know. And like I said, hit that like button. It helps me out in the algorithm. And don't forget to hit that bell to be notified for more gaming news, specifically RPGs and fighting games in the near future. This is MugenLord signing off. I'll see you game fiends later. Peace out.